Hey everybody, this is Todd Pipes from Deep Blue Something, and you're listening to Verbal Shenanigans.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Yeah, hello everybody. Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Scott. That's Mike. Me and Mike are over here arguing about who has the power. I currently have the power on the podcast because I control the Zoom room. I control the levels on your microphone.
True.
I have the password to the newsletter. Actually, I think I gave you that one. I don't know. I also have the footage of all the podcasts, so I think I have the power, Mike.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting thought, but let's consider why they are tuning in to said show and all the responsibilities and all. I mean, if you recall, I told you when Harry came down to Georgia, he literally told me to my face, Scott is the one who got me to listen to the podcast. And Berlo, you are the reason I continue to listen to said podcast.
Listen, Harry's been spewing BS since I've known him. And by the way, Harry's a friend and occasionally visits the podcast here. I mean, this guy has gotten drunk before and debated that UFC and WWE are the same thing. They're both fixed and they're both cool. Like Harry likes to stir the pot, if you will. And I think he was giving you some BS.
What about Groovy Joan acknowledging every single nickname that has ever been bequeathed to me and admiring everything I bring to the podcast, my friend?
I'm not debating that you don't bring anything to the podcast. This is more of a power dynamic here.
I mean, I'm the one that drives the car, and just because you own it don't mean jack to me.
You drive the car.
Yeah.
That's how you consider yourself. So
this VS sedan has one driver, and you're looking at him, and he's a pilgrim.
So you consider yourself a fur of verbal shenanigans. You drive.
I do. I feel I have the power. I know how to put these podcasts in the right position to go further. No, I get them out in the front. I make sure we don't get in trouble with the police. I do all the great things that good drivers do on the show.
Well, let's talk about how much power you have. You're coming up on your 500th episode. How is your song that you were supposed to have for episode 500 coming along?
Well, I have it all written now. I might change a few things because it was done a few weeks ago, and we've had other guests, so I'm going to switch some things out. So that's going to be done. Still on my list is all the voices I have to do for a special intro and all. But let's keep in mind, lists get lost, Scott. It's been undeniably proven in our government that lists could be theoretically there and then vanish within a second. And it's not my fault, and it is your fault if you keep bringing up said list.
I'm also surprised that you have any problem with the Epstein list missing, considering your recent defense of Kanye, your recent defense of Diddy. I feel like you're a guy who just kind of believes, like they're like, oh, there's no list, and they found out that Epstein, wasn't murdered. We have to believe what they tell us.
Well, maybe he was on the island.
There we go.
And he had other thoughts going on, and he made lists, but not necessarily like a client list. I mean, maybe he's on the island and he goes, man, I need some more toilet paper on this island. I need, probably like a nice barca lounger over by the waterfalls where where possibly under 18 kids hang out with older adults. And maybe we need, maybe he has to call the cable company and stuff like that. So he makes a list of all the duties that he has to do on the island. And everybody's like, oh, look, we got an Epstein list and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So like next week when like Trump comes to, his sense, he's like, all right, fine, we're going to release the list. And it's just like some big chore list. He's like, take the garbage out.
Paint the house, replace
file
that
the taxes,
one window. I mean, it's just, Hey, he was a busy man and even though he is gone and it was clearly a suicide and because he got bored in there. I mean, he was such a busy man and he was such a busy innocent man, may I throw out there, and all just a cool guy with a big island that once in a while children show up to, and he's got a ton of things to do, and he makes a list, and everybody calls him a bad person because he's just like, I can't take it. I'm stuck in jail for the rest of my life, and I have all these list items I can't get to thanks to my bad lawyer. Well, what else are we supposed to do? And the poor man is gone. I mean,
you know how you said I don't have the power? In the last 10 episodes, I think I have the power with all the things that you've said on this show that I could edit into a nice package. Defense of Epstein, defense of Kanye and his swastikas, the Diddy freak-offs, ethnic salsa. I think I now have the power. The power.
No. I mean, I am a defense lawyer, if you will. No. I just go out there and defend these people. Now, maybe I lose a case or 2 or 12. It doesn't really matter. And all. Yep. I mean, all I'm doing is presenting to the jury, which is our vast audience. And if they say still guilty, I go, oh, well, I gave it a whirl. Pay me now.
So in your eyes, you see yourself as the driver and the defense lawyer of the podcast.
I see. I got a list. Look at that, Scott. And I have a list of duties that I bring every episode, and I check them off every single time.
Let's talk about the Epstein list seriously, though. Okay. I've been saying this forever. This is just the true evidence that every politician is just completely full of crap. And you can be the Donald Trump and the guy who wants to drain the swamp and promise everybody this, and this, anti-war. We're not going to war. We're not getting involved in other people's problems. We're going to release the list. Then he has a day where he releases the list and everybody got binders and everything in it was redacted. It just shows that Washington's just too powerful. The only thing that I would give, the only thing I would say positive about the whole Trump saga over the last 12 years or whatever it is going to be at the end of this, is that it did show you there is a possibility of some rando running and kind of shaking up the government and shaking up how things have always been done. If it was someone from the left, I would say the same thing. Maybe this actually does open up a possibility for a third party one day. But it just shows you, he's literally out there being like, guys, what are you talking about? Why are you worrying about this list now? Oh, I don't know, because rich and powerful people are going to an island full of young children, which are people's daughters. And, there's people in this country who are sitting incarcerated for their whole life for selling marijuana or smoking marijuana.
All right. So let me just throw another thing out there for you, Scott. What was one of the best TV series of all time?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, that's a great series, but the obvious answer is Gilligan's Island. Okay. And that was made in the 60s. It was a brilliant television show, how they can make radios out of coconuts, and then somebody accidentally trips and then it ruins their plans and they're stuck on the island forever.
Right.
But our children don't know about the island. Your son and daughter, if you went up to them and said, tell me about Gilligan's Island right now, would have no answers. Your son would probably just point to his penis and look at this peanut and distract you instead of answering the question. Maybe Jeffrey Epstein, being the brilliant television mind that he is, he says, let's bring it back and make it for children and call it Gilligan's Island Jr. Right. And he had this all set up, ready to go. Yep. Maybe had some great footage, maybe have some elements of other great TV shows. Remember Legends of the Hidden Temple?
How can I forget?
Yeah. Maybe he had just extra stuff like that. Maybe there were Guts and all that game show. That was amazing. He had this all prepared, ready to go. Then somebody tripped and all the footage got erased, like the list. And now everybody is complaining about him right now.
Yeah. I don't think that's the case. I mean,
What?
Call me a contrarian, but I don't quite think that is the case of what's going on here.
Okay, flat earther.
But it is it is truly hilarious to see once again another candidate get in for like, what's he been in there? Not even a year yet again. And
I think he has 41 months to go.
yeah, another candidate where everything you run on is just complete BS. And once you get in there, I feel like they must have the most powerful hitmen, blackmail artists, because they don't, like, everyone just caves when they get in there. It just does not matter. Like, everyone caves and just stays the course of whatever has always been done. And my thing is like, burn it all to the ground. You want to be the real drain the swamp guy, unless you're on that list, which you not releasing it certainly seems like you're on this list. Burn everything to the ground. Burn the whole right, the whole left, all of Hollywood. There hasn't been anything that united this country, sadly, since 9/11. Okay, since 9/11, post 9/11, there was a feeling of like, wow, everybody's like on the same page, and everyone's like kind of like, like, what a tragedy, and like, America first. You want to burn it to the ground and actually start fresh and maybe unite people, release the damn list.
Well, I think they actually, as crazy as it sounds, I think the Democrats forced a vote where it's like, all right, well, I want to put a referendum into the law that says they have to release within 30 days. And they lost the vote. And it's like one of those weird things. Now, how are you going to go out there and say, now hold up.
Yeah.
Now, we don't need to look at this file or anything. It's not there, or it could be, or it was made up by the last regime, but we don't need to put it out in 30 days now.
It should be the topic. Like, all these other topics should not be pissing people off in elections, gay marriage and abortion. Like, we should be well past these things. But yet we have a list of possible government Hollywood pedophiles that control the country and are rich. And we are going to say we're going to release it and then completely pretend it's gone again. Like, completely. Like, this is the one issue that you should be going to your Republican friend. You should be going to your Democrat friend and be like, we shut down the government for everything. Like, every time there's a disagreement or something can't go through, shut it down until the list is released. Like, let's build, that should be a cause people should get behind.
Okay, let me throw another idea.
Do not throw Gilligan's Island 3 at me.
No. Well, we're going to save that. I know when they face the Harlem Globetrotters, like the great third movie of Gilligan's Island. But hear me out. Maybe they're not releasing the lists because the only ones that are on the list are like D-level celebrities, and it's just such a letdown.
It's like most of our podcast guests.
That'd be the greatest if it's like, hey, this list happens to be the same amount of guests as in Unbearable Shenanigans.
Sandy Johnson, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's just like the dude in Buffy the Vampire Slayer on this list. What?
Terry Tate. Tell me it isn't so. Terry Tate, how could you?
Johnny Manziel, what the hell?
The Office linebacker was on Epstein Island. What is this?
Yeah, like everyone that should have like a VH1 reality show is just on the list, and they're like, "Oh, this is so disappointing, man. We can't put the list out now. We got to keep digging."
Yeah, it's just I don't get involved. I've talked about this many times. I gave up on government quite a long time ago. I gave up on government when Bernie was railroaded, and then in the next election they just said this is who you get to vote for. Like, so really, if you're anywhere near the left, you haven't been able to actually vote like for a candidate in like 12 years, 16 years, something like that. They've told you this is who you get. You better, eat your vegetables and shut up. That's basically what they've been doing. And then the right is a complete disaster. So I've just given up on politics. This is like the one issue that's kind of brought me back in like a tiny bit, where I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, why? Like, this has to be a laughing stock around the world again. Like we already kind of are in some ways, but like this has to be another thing. Like, how can America go like be hiding this right in front of everyone's faces?
Mm-hmm. Like tonight is the ESPYs. They should be like, nobody cares who's the best tennis player, ESPY award. Let's just throw the list out there. Mm-hmm. Like they got Shane Gillis hosting and all. That'd be the greatest thing. It's just like, I don't care about any of you people here. Nobody holds on to their ESPYs. Mm-hmm. I think Kyle Troop had showed us his ESPY, but I digress. I mean, like, who cares about that award? Just give me the list on the show and all. They'll be on primetime, ABC and ESPN, and they'll bring people back to Disney. And they're like, oh, they're not woke anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It pissed me off. And you know what also pisses me off? I had the displeasure of seeing Conor McGregor's dong this week.
Oh, good for you, man.
No, man. No, I'm so disappointed in myself.
What happened, Scotty?
Conor, as you know, Conor McGregor gets himself in a lot of, let's say, trouble. He's kind of approaching like Epstein levels as of late. Like I guess nothing with a child yet, but this guy's every chance he gets, he's punching someone in the face. He's getting arrested. He hasn't fought in 4 years. He keeps saying he's coming back. No,
and he's running for president of Ireland or whatever.
Yeah. President. Now, I am probably on record here many times saying there was nothing more fun to me than going out to a bar and watching a Conor fight, or renting a Conor fight. And I had friends come over. We made a big event out of it. There was something really cool about it. But here's a guy who's, I'm pretty sure most of Ireland doesn't even like him anymore. Okay, he's just. You could tell he's a coked up steroid addict. Like he's just a maniac. Like everything he says comes off kind of stupid now. Like you talk all this trash, but you haven't fought in 4 years. You're punching old men in a bar. You're punching random people. You look like a psychopath. You sound like a psychopath. So a thing pops up on my news feed. Conor McGregor. That's another thing. Like there used to be an image of like, yeah, he's crazy in the UFC, but he's like a good family man and he had a good story behind him. And so he's been engaged to he's not his wife yet, but he's with the same girl for like 20 years or whatever. They have 4 kids together. Then they got officially engaged like 6 years ago. And things just keep kind of coming out about Conor cheating. He's got 4 kids. It's sad. Then a new thing comes out. That he's with some rapper or something like that, and he sent them some dong pics. Okay,
as you do. I mean, me and ye, we go back and forth all the time on.
You're just dong exchange.
Yeah, sometimes I can't make it to the freak off, so it's just like, hey, I miss you, sending you best wishes, and it's a dong pic.
That is horrifying to think about, but anyway,
I mean, if you get sick and all, you can look forward to that, Scotty. It's like, oh, he's got a stomach ache. Let me make him feel better.
Yeah. So a thing comes on. Conor McGregor got caught sending harassing photos, and she basically like went back at him and was like, "Man, don't be sending me these crooked dong pics. You wear some sunblock." Well, she got him pretty good. I forget her name and I forget exactly what she said, but I'm like, that's a pretty good response. But of course, Mike, the way the internet is, you see like photos leaked. So here I am torn between, do I click that link or do I just say, he probably did it.
Yeah.
Sure enough, one click wasn't enough for me because it didn't bring me to the right page. So I had to do a little.
That's a weird spot where you're like, you convince yourself to click the link, and it's like, oh, it's got to forward to the next one, and then you're back in the debate, and do I want to go further? Does this rabbit hole have a great wonderland as I go through it or not?
And sure enough, click link, go to Reddit, go down this wormhole, because now, Mike, I'm invested in it. I have to see the pictures, Obviously. And then you go to what a beautiful social media platform like X, and you type it in and people are like promoting, Conor's picks leaked, and then it takes you to some terrible site, things that you don't want to click on.
Hey, how's their promotion on X? Because maybe we can take that picture of Conor's dog and just put next to it like a link to our latest podcast.
No, sure enough, I click on one link and there it is. Conor McGregor standing buck naked in front of a locker, kind of, and him with his dong, his erect dong, by the way. There. And then in the second picture, it's him with his dong with like something on it, and he texts underneath lifting weights.
I mean, we've all done that. Don't tell me you never had put the wash rag on there and be like, honey, have you seen the laundry?
So yeah, there I am, you know that thing when you go, I'm sure any type of leaked pics, you've gone down some kind of wormhole or something.
Oh yeah.
And then you click on them and you're like, I wish I didn't click on that. And I saw it. Now I'm over it and wish I went backwards. I feel like, Mike, you are currently looking up Conor's dong on your computer as we speak.
No, I'm playing Cake Sort right now.
You're playing Cake Sort while we're podcasting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm letting you go through your tirade, and I'm like, all right, I'll wait for my funny joke and going from there.
First off, what the hell is Cake Sort?
Well, it's kind of like I've been getting in my ADHD thing where it's like I can't concentrate sometimes.
I noticed you last week, talking to yourself with the glare of the computer in your eyes as I was telling the story about the squirrel. Were you playing Cake Sort during the squirrel conversation?
I was not playing Cake Sort during the squirrel. I know I was probably thinking of another joke or probably saying "Don't mess with me" to myself. But yeah, that moment I was playing Cake Sort as you were talking about Conor McGregor's dong.
What is Cake Sort, and why is it more important than us talking about Conor's dong or the audience?
I was listening as I was playing.
So you're telling me you're telling me you're able to listen to a story, comment, and then play some game while we're doing the podcast? This is why we have no numbers, Mike.
Number one, I'm the driver. Don't worry where we're going. I know where we're going here. Number one, all right?
Where are we going? What?
The only way to go is up. That's a beautiful thing. Every week, it's like, Scott, all we can do is stay here or go up. There's no other
Here
option.
I am pouring my heart out to you about how I went down a wormhole and asked you, have you ever been down a wormhole and you go, oh, yeah, and you're staring at a screen sorting cakes?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's a game where it's like you, it's a YouTube playable game where it'll give you 3 cakes and there's 6 different patterns and they can be mixed up within the cake and you're trying to combine it to make a full cake. If it's this one has green and black, and then you get a fully green.
That couldn't wait until the podcast was over.
No, it's a great game, Scott. I mean, like I said, lately my ADHD has been going as of late. So
I'm appalled. This should make the listeners who are on your side against you now. This is not a good look for you.
How I didn't miss one single thing you were talking about Conor McGregor's dog while I was playing Cake.
I asked you, have you ever gone down a wormhole into a leaked pic? And you just went, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I have.
You gave me the bad interview. You were like, yeah, oh, wow.
No.
Yes, you did.
Now, to answer your question, back in the day, the early AOL,
the pre-Cake Sort days back, before something.
I mean, those were the tough days. Those were the tough days. But I remember the early days of AOL, where it's quote unquote, I have nude celebrity photos.
Wait. Do you want to pause so you can sort your cake? Is your cake running out?
No. I'm talking right now. So
do you need a minute? Do you need a minute?
Right?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a cake sort while I'm talking, I understand. But I digress. But in those days, it's yo, I heard somebody's got a nude photo of Courtney Cox, and then you got to kind of almost bargain in those days. It's well, I got this downloaded picture right here I can give to you for that. And you just like bartering for like new celebrities. Meanwhile, it was the worst, clearly photoshopped pictures in the universe, but we were happy back then. I don't know what to tell you. And I will also say, as we're talking about celebrity dongs, I do recall going through that rabbit hole with Brett Favre when he was in trouble. And it's like, I was kind of the same thing. It was like, I want to see it. It's out there. All right, let's see it. And I'm like, I've been kind of disappointed by Brett Favre right there.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. I was playing Fruit Ninja while you were talking.
You were drinking beer. Admit it.
I was sipping a beer, but I might as well be talking. Maybe I'll call this the solo cast part 2 or whatever, because apparently I'm just not entertaining enough for you, Mike.
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, I came off of vacation. I'm not as motivated in work, so sometimes my ADHD goes, and I try and do like 4 things at once.
I take back everything I wrote about you in the newsletter.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can. I could delete the post.
I got the email. All I got. I can print it out. I can put it back there with twerking Chewbacca there.
Here I am. I wrote a nice post about Mike Burlew's contribution to the podcast, how we met, I gave a loose story of some of the things we've done and how it evolved, and how I think I even put in there's no Verbal Shenanigans podcast without Michael Burlew.
In bold.
I'm taking that back.
And you can't do that.
Yes, I can.
It's already out there in the app. It's not on a list, so you can't take it back.
Did you enjoy the newsletter? That I felt like I was walking a thin line, because I was like, I want to tell the true story, but I don't want to boost this guy's ego any higher than it already is.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And apparently I have, because now you're like, snorting cakes. Look at me. I don't have to participate.
I'm the driver. I can do whatever I want. That's a green one. That goes with the other green one. Yeah.
Even the guy who created the podcast knows he needs me.
I apologize. My brain went in a direction. Continue with the.
Did you enjoy the newsletter this week, Mike?
I absolutely did, and there was a moment like you're like, "Hey, the newsletter's out," and I was like running around. And you're like, "Hey, did you happen to read it?" And then I was still running around, and then I read it, and I'm like, how do I react? I'm kind of getting a little sentimental, kind of like, "Oh, wow, that's really nice what you said," and all. And it's kind of weird of like this like heartfelt, hey, let me tell you the story of Burlew, and we joke around, he's a great guy and all that, and then underneath thoughts of Burlew, and it's just listing all my dog and animal voices right under that, and it just kind of contradicts the whole situation right there.
But I think I did try. I think I did a good job of covering the history of the podcast. Like it could have been another 12 paragraphs, but I didn't want to go too deep. But I did want to say kind of how you got there.
I know. I appreciate it. I do. And I swear I was just getting my intro for the guests ready. I didn't go back to cake sorting.
Every time I see your left eyeball, your left glasses, there's a little white light from your screen going on. And sometimes, usually I thought you were looking at like information or a bit or something, but now I know the real story. I know the real story.
My whole life is about bringing cakes together in its truest form.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess we should segue to our guest, since your left eye is lit up. So go ahead, Terminator.
All right, Scotty. A new nickname, that means. Thank you, Scotty.
No,
all right,
you're not the Terminator. No, you're not just taking the Terminator.
Groovy Joan referred to me as the Terminator after this episode comes out. Thank you.
I can't wait to. When it's episode 5, whatever you're 500, when I bring on someone else and put it out before you're there.
All right. But let's worry about the guest, Scott. And all.
Now you're worried about the podcast.
Let's stop worrying about lists and cake sorting and Conor McGregor's new body and so.
I didn't even say. I saw his dong, by the way, and
finish.
Yeah, guy's doing okay for himself. Not gonna lie. Not gonna
good
lie.
For him, man. I mean, like I said, I was a little like the Brett Favre thing, I'm like, oh, I mean,
Put all underwhelmed.
I was like, man, maybe I could have quarterbacked all them years.
Maybe I could be in those Wrangler commercials.
It's like you see a big dong in a UFC guy, it's like, oh man, I ain't gonna fight him.
I mean, for his size, it was pretty decent. But I also, I kind of was a Conor McGregor fan in the octagon. But I'm pretty much over him now too. He's pretty much lost to everybody, I think.
I mean, he hasn't done anything of relevance, and God knows when. All you hear about is, as you say, he gets in trouble. He claims he's coming back, and like Dana White, that's the funniest thing. Like he's one of them guys. Is like, I will get rid of you when you're useless to me, but he always keeps holding on to him because deep down he knows. I mean, there's pretty much right now like 3 people that can drive a UFC number even higher, which is Lesnar, Rousey, and Jones and McGregor. Yeah. There's a certain amount of names. Even as long as they're gone and you're like, oh, this is probably going to be terrible, you put it up there and then they just go triple numbers. So it's, I mean, it's just, it's nothing to get excited for because he just spouts and it's like, all right, it used to be spout business. Now we just spout out of that thing.
His dong or his mouth?
I mean, either are available for spouting.
Well, it's funny. It's funny now you want to talk about McGregor's dong right before the guest, but before I was trying to talk about McGregor's dong, and you were sorting cakes. But anyway, I didn't want to interrupt you, Mike. Who do we got tonight?
Well, Scott, tonight we are speaking with the bassist and lead singer of the band of Deep Blue Something, Todd Pipes. You may remember their big hit in the 90s, Breakfast at Tiffany's. They just released their latest album, Lunar Phase, last month. And tonight we get the privilege to speak with Todd this evening.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to bring Todd Pipes on. Maybe you should turn the cake game off. I would do the interview, but
I can Deep Blue Something and cake at the same time.
But without further ado, here's Todd Pipes of Deep Blue Something.
Hello?
Hey, Todd.
Todd, what's going on?
Sorry about my tardiness.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm Mike. This is Scott. Welcome to Verbal Shenanigans. How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So let's start right from the beginning, Todd. I know that your brother is in Deep Blue Something with you. You have a 5-year gap. Were you always connected with your brother musically, or was this ever started as, okay, Mom, I'll let him in the band kind of deals?
No. I mean, we were always interested in music. We're not that far apart. We're only like 3.5 years apart.
Oh, okay.
5 years would be a lot for siblings, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To try to work together. And when you're young, it seems like such a much bigger gap, but as you get older, it doesn't seem like much of anything. But I think the main thing is we were both interested in the same types of music, and I thought that his friend's taste in music was better than my friend's taste in music too. So I didn't mind hanging out with them quite a bit, especially, once we were both in high school together. I don't know. That's when we started our first band kind of thing. So. Yeah.
So when did you have an idea that like maybe I'm going to give this music thing a full-time swing? Like, was it early on in your life, or was it after some success? Or was that always the plan?
Well, I decided when I was in second grade on the school bus with my friends Justin and Robbie, and we had heard of back then everybody kind of wrote. From like kindergarten all the way to high school, you were on a school bus, right? So the big kids sat in the back. And so this would have been second grade. So I'm a few seats from the front, and you can kind of hear the older kids talking about this band. They're called Kiss, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they were still an underground thing. So you hear these whispers. And so I was just fascinated by this idea. And so we had decided then that we were going to start some sort of band. And in my little brain, I thought we were trying to figure out how to join Kiss, not start. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and And finally I went, oh yeah, that's somewhat unreal. That's not realistic at all to join KISS. But at that time, that's what I decided that I was going to do, you know. And now how to do that is a completely different thing, because I grew up in a, kind of a medium-sized college town, but there was like no music scene. There was no conduit to success. And I knew I wasn't going to be one of those guys that goes out to LA and slugs it out in the bars. I wasn't going to do that. And so I didn't know what to do. And so there wasn't a serious attempt until Toby had transferred up to the University of North Texas, where there was a music scene and there were tons of clubs in the Dallas-Fort Worth. And then it was, okay, I've got this window. I'm going to go to graduate school and we're going to start a new band because there's possibly a way. And if it doesn't happen, this is it. And so that's why there was this sense of urgency and just, utterly busting our asses, because I knew that the window was small.
Right. Now, if you joined KISS, did you have a makeup plan going to get in there? Like, did you have something like, too. You can't be a star, man. We already got one. They have a kitty.
Yeah. I don't know. I was fascinated with Gene's makeup, but at the same time, I think universally we all acknowledge that Ace was the cool one.
Of course.
Right. So, and even looking back, I can look at those old photos and go, man, he was literally, for a while, he was the coolest human on the planet, like for a long time. So yeah, that Ace was my dude. But I became a bass player because of Sting and Gene Simmons. That's also why I ended up majoring in English, because both of those guys were English teachers. And I very briefly was an English teacher, and I ended up becoming, and I'm an adjunct professor right now. I teach a couple of classes every year, but it was because of those guys, playing bass and being involved in English and writing lyrics and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think the name helps too. Todd Pipes is too good of a music name. I've heard some good ones, but
I got accused in an interview of it being fake because I hadn't really heard the term, and I don't know why. I hadn't heard the pipes associated with your voice. I had never really heard that. And this DJ was interviewing me, and he was just kind of kidding around. And I was like, hey man, like, it's not like that's my real name. I wouldn't have picked Todd. And I don't think Toby would have picked Toby. I mean, Pipes is cool. We were gonna call our son Chrome for a long time, but my wife wouldn't let me. But yeah, Pipes is okay. Todd, I don't know about that.
Yeah, call me Jebediah Pipes.
Jebediah, that's not bad. Jeb.
Now, one thing I found interesting, for what I saw in an interview of yours, you played the bass with a pick, and all. When did you pick up that habit?
Okay, so when I first started playing the bass, I was finger style, right? Because I played a little bit with the pick because John Entwistle went back and forth. Mm-hmm. But Geddy played with his fingers. John Paul Jones mostly played with his fingers, a little bit with a pick. But Geddy was really my main guy. I liked Chris Squire, and I stole a lot of tone from Chris Squire. But I was a finger guy, right? And and I was in the 1 o'clock jazz ensemble in college. I had a music scholarship, even though I was an English major. But, so I was finger guy. But when we started the band and we couldn't find a singer, I sort of figured out that I could play and sing at the same time better if I used a pick. And I think it's because of the downstroke.
Sure.
Because when you pluck a string, you're actually pulling upwards. And I think rhythmically, the pick worked better. So I had to completely reteach myself to play with a pick. But on Toby's songs, when he's singing, I'll switch back to fingers.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it does, there's some tonal benefits to the pick. Like, it's really consistent, sure, real punchy. But I like going back and forth. So,
yep. So when the band, forms, how long does it take to you guys to start feeling a little bit of momentum? Like there's usually, an origin story to a band, but when did it feel like, okay, these are the guys I'm supposed to be with. We're doing something the right way.
Pretty quick, because in Denton or in the Dallas scene in general, you had to play your own music. If you were a cover band, oh my God, people just hated on you, right? And so right from the get-go, it was, well, before we play a show, we got to get 10 songs together, maybe 8. We could throw in a couple of obscure covers. So you knew pretty quickly if it was something that was gonna work, right? And we started doing everything we could just to get people in the door. Like we would convince the club owners to have like, $3 cover, but all the beer you could drink. It was back in those days that you could do that, right? And we would say, look, you don't have to pay us, but let's try to get people in the bar. And it'd be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, the drink and drown nights, or like $5 to get in and then nickel pitchers, that kind of thing. So we did all that kind of stuff. So we would get people in, but then they started sticking around, and they would come on nights where they had to pay. And it wasn't really that way for some other bands. And so we started getting a crowd pretty quickly, I think, because we weren't trying to be grunge.
Right.
A
little outside of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one thing, it's great to have Nirvana or even bands that sound like Nirvana. But if you're trying to sound like Nirvana and you suck, that's bad. Right. So there was a lot of imitation grunge going on, and we just weren't that. So I think that helped. But we got a pretty good reception fairly quickly, which got us into Dallas venues and then into other cities. We didn't even have a demo. We didn't have anything that the other bands had. They all had pictures and demo and gear that worked. We didn't have anything, but we had a great, yeah. Hey, here's a little story about that. We had gotten Toby for a long time didn't have an amplifier because we couldn't get enough cash. So we rented this amp from, what was the name of that pawn shop? McBride's Pawn Shop. They would put it on the back steps, and we would come by and pick it up and then put some money in it, and they put it on the back steps. The next morning, they would put it back in. Anyway, we finally found this old Yamaha 410 for, I think, $50, right? But it would overheat, right?
Yep.
And somehow or other, though, in a different used furniture store, we found a second Yamaha 410 for like $20. It overheated too. So we would start playing, and as soon as one amp would overheat, he would turn it off and plug into the other amp and just move the microphone over and play it until it overheated. And he would just switch back and forth because we didn't have enough money to have a single working amplifier. I'm not joking. We bought one string at a time. Like if you broke a string, we didn't go buy a set. You bought one string. But we drew people, right? So
bass strings are expensive. I get it. I left the strings on my bass for like 6 years at a time.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I know that pain, man. I'm telling you. Yeah.
So you put out the first album, 11th Hour. Kind of give us a sense of your vibes. Are you feeling like you guys are, okay, we're a step closer? Did you see like what was coming with Breakfast at Tiffany's? Or are you still kind of like, this is a cute little thing. We're paying our bills. This is fun. We're musicians.
We thought that it would maybe give us a chance. The big thing in Dallas that you wanted to do, this radio station called The Edge they did this compilation record every year called Tales from the Edge. And so what you wanted to do is try to get on that compilation, right? But you had to have a decent recording. And so that's why we went and made the 11th song CD, just so we would have something, to try to put in their hands. And it did, and it worked. They picked Raise Your Hands off of that, and they put it on the Tales from the Edge. And then, so that, boom, we grew a little bit more, right? But we still couldn't get record companies to come see us and that kind of thing. Or if they did, they would just say, it's not going to work. They don't sound like anything else, that kind of thing. Everybody looked in their crystal ball, that they all act like they have, and somehow or other they just didn't think Breakfast at Tiffany's was a hit. So, and it was, by the time we got signed, man, I thought we were about 6 months away from being done, because we couldn't get it any bigger than it was, and it wasn't going to go anywhere after that, and I finished up graduate school, and the other guys were finishing up their degree. It was about time to be done.
So about 3-4 weeks ago, we had Chris Thorne on of Blind Melon. And I asked him the question. We've had a couple artists similar where they have a hit that's just such a smash hit that it's the only thing they're associated with. And, to like the common folk, like, yeah, it's a great, like No Rain was such a tremendous song, but there's this giant catalog that is so fantastic that they also have. So I had asked Chris about, his thoughts on like No Rain. Was it like a double-edged sword? Did it become frustrating? And he said he kind of went through all the emotions of it, that they were so thankful. And then there was some like angst towards the songs. There was so much other stuff. And then like now he has his perspective, like, how can I be upset about, having a song that kind of kept us alive and let us go in a recording studio untouched? I'm curious. I feel like you kind of have a similar thing there, where Breakfast at Tiffany's, you could not go anywhere without hearing it was such a smash hit. Like, and how you feel about that song?
I would bet our experiences with Blind Melon are very similar. I never had the experience where I was like, dang it, I wish we didn't have that. I never had that feeling.
Right.
It felt a little bit like the old albatross around your neck. Because the thing is, what creates the one-hit wonder phenomenon is when your first song is that big.
Right.
And there's literally, you can't get higher than that, right?
Yeah.
Worldwide smash is, well, what are you going to have another one? Like when you think of people who have long careers, it's really because they slowly build up to it, right? That you do have room for your next song to be a little bigger, or your album to be a little bigger. When you jump straight to the top of the mountain, which we didn't jump straight to, it was a lot of insanely hard work. But when that's where you first end up, you can't surpass that.
Yeah.
So that's difficult. But when I look back at what it has given us,
right,
which is we've always got shows to play. We can always make records. We've all been involved in the music business in lots of varying degrees for 35 years now, right? And I'm infinitely thankful for all of it. And I remember, you remember Behind the Music, that show that was on VH1?
VH1,
Yeah, and they were doing that thing about Warrant, and I saw Janie Lane talking about cherry pie. And he was like, all of a sudden, I'm the cherry pie guy. And anytime I hear cherry pie, I want to put a bullet in my head. And he was like, serious. And I was like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard, man.
Yeah.
You've got to be thankful, because there are people I know that have been trying for decades. They give a nut if they could just, 1 week's worth of what we get right now, like on Spotify. People would kill for that. And for us to not be thankful, I'm not going down that road ever, man. Ever, ever, ever. We're happy to sing it. It's fun.
Yep.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
You get the hit, you're touring, everything is good. You say, we're going to put a third album out, and Byzantium, bunch of stuff going on there. It's only released in Japan. Like, give a backstory of like all the struggles there and what's going in the band's head when this is happening.
Okay, so that was during this sort of precursory period. When you think back to the Napster thing, okay, and when that happened, the music industry noticed that was happening a few years before, okay? Like, no one could figure out what was going on, but everybody was going, there should be some sales here that aren't here, like for all of these artists. And I remember our manager saying, look, record companies are firing whole floors of people. Something is weird. We don't know what it is, but nobody's going to stick their neck out. So we need to kind of lay low, and and they were taking a long time to even let us go and record, which was very similar. Interscope seems to have done that with a lot. We were in the same boat as the Wallflowers. We ran into them a few weeks ago, and Jacob was just railing on that period, right? And we were like, oh yeah, man, it happened to all of us. But there was a reason, because everybody was trying to figure out what was going on, because you can't just spend $1 million to promote a band for kids to just trade it all for free. You're just pissing in the wind. I mean, or worse, in a windstorm. So so we were all in this frozen period. We ended up making this record, and then they didn't know what to do with it. And what was really funny was, by the time we were in real discussions about what was going on, the sales from home had already recouped the second record, or the Byzantium album. And so when we sort of said, look, either put it out or let us go, and they were trying to figure out what to do, all of a sudden we realized, if you let us go, you have to give us this record. We've already paid for it. And so all of a sudden we've got this record in our hands. And so it takes a while to get off, and we end up signing with a different label. And then September 11th happened, which was when everything froze. And so it was just this sort of window of calamity in there. And we were just in the middle of it. It's just, that's the times, you know. And music like ours wasn't really around. You know, when we came back from that home world tour, I knew things were different. I mean, Gin Blossoms weren't on the radio anymore, right? Yeah. It was either you were this sort of weird Disney pop, or you were Korn.
Yeah, rap rock.
We weren't either one. Yep. You know, so I knew it was probably, this was going to be a rough period. So, you know, and that's why I started producing actually during that time.
You're actually segueing to two things that I wanted to touch on. One was, you know, I always say, like, we've interviewed so many bands, like we're in a cool era where no band ever completely goes away. Like, we're seeing so many of our favorite bands back and full on tour and sounding great still, like even as they get older. But no band, it doesn't seem like they take real hiatuses. You took a pretty large hiatus, 13 years, I guess, am I reading something close to that?
Yeah. Ish. Yeah.
So what was that like, as far as what was the impetus to get the band back together? Was it like, I miss you guys? Was it, we need to go make some money? Was it, just a combination of everything? What brought you guys back?
Well, it was none of those things.
Oh, okay.
No. Great guessing, Scott.
We did not miss each other. No, the funny thing is, we never broke up. We never had this stopping point. But everybody had slowly gotten into these other things when we kept waiting around. Like, when I started producing, I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. Yeah. I can work on tons of records every year. I can have a normal life, right? This is way better, instead of making a record and then sitting there and your life being in somebody else's hands.
Sure.
You know, I can do this. And, you know, John and Kirk had gotten into real estate, some other things like that. Clay was involved in restaurants. Everybody was doing all these things. And kids were starting to kind of pop into the picture.
Sure.
And so, again, when you think back to the college thing, everybody's got degrees, everybody has other opportunities. Well, we're not going to beat our head against the wall to just do this. We've been to the top of the mountain and we didn't really love it. So if we need to do something else, let's just do something else, right? But what we would do, though, we would still get a call occasionally. Hey, can you come play this charity benefit? Sure. Mm-hmm. And so we would sneak out. We would go play a charity thing. One year, we booked these little bars in all these little ski towns. And so we would go and we would ski all day, and then we would play this little bar in Steamboat. Cool. And then the next, we would do those little things. And so everybody was still on great terms. And it was just sort of slowly, kids are getting older. And the kids
time starts slipping away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the kids don't really need you in the picture anymore. And your wives are like, why don't you go do something? You know? And so in 2015 or so, we made that Locust House EP. And I had no intention of playing shows. Didn't see any reason to. But I was like, oh man, everybody's really good. You forget, man, I've recorded all these other bands and you forget how great your own band is.
Mm.
And then we played this one show and I thought, yeah, we might need to go play shows again.
Yeah.
And so just slowly it just ramped up and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just released last week, and Lunar Phase came out, and I was checking it out. Loved St. Morrissey. I was digging the bass work on Will You Wait.
Oh, cool.
When you say, okay, we're going full circle, getting that album out, are you like back in your 20s and all that? Are you still feeling like I'm whatever age you are? I'm not going to guess. I'm not that bad of a person, and
you can't do math, so
that is true. That is true. Well, you're a bad guesser. We went over that with the last question, Scott. But like, are you back in like a youthful grace, or is it just like back at the office kind of deals?
No, it's super fun. When everybody's together, it's fun. You know, it's a little stressful trying to get everybody together, but once we're together, it's all fun. And when we started making this record, we were doing some rehearsals and stuff, and I was like, hey guys, I got this idea. Tell me if you don't like it. And I just said, I think we should go out of our way to make a record that sounds like it came out in 92. Mm-hmm. Right? Please, let's not try to make it sound modern or current. I'm not going to mix it that way. Just what do you think? And everybody said, yep. Let's do it simple. Everybody walk in, because we've got lots of guitars and lots of amps. It's like, pick what you're going to use, right? Pick your guitar, pick your amp. We're not going to go through that thing of, I'm going to play this guitar on this part and this part here. I'm going to use. No, let's do it like we did when we only had one guitar and half an amp
and a string
and one good string.
All right, we got to get those overheated amps back in here. Hey, old school.
I actually thought about that. Funnily enough, I was trying to track down an old Yamaha 410 on Reverb a while back, just because they did have a certain sound, you know. But that was our approach. Let's go back old school, simple, just do it. And you know, we didn't spend a ton of time.
Yeah. So what's the reception been like coming back live, as far as, you know, rejoining the old fans, finding, you know, fans coming with that next generation, their kids with them. And, you know, I always say with these interviews, like, one good thing about streaming is like all these bands are eternal. Like, there's new audiences all the time. Mm-hmm. They find their way on new playlists and new, who knows, like a song blows up. What's it been like coming back to the live part of this?
That's been super interesting for us. One thing peculiar about Breakfast at Tiffany's is, you know, we remember when it came out, obviously. Okay, so we were of that period. But other people don't exactly know when it came out. And so young people especially, they know it's not a new song, but they don't really understand how old it is, right? And so for them, it's just this thing that there's been in their periphery for a long time. And so they don't know it's that old, and so they don't feel like it's that strange for them to come see us. You know, so we'll get like a fairly young audience sometimes, and then they'll be like, wow, you've been around for a long time. I didn't know you had that many songs and that kind of thing. Because you're right. It's like if anybody has a whim to just look you up, all your stuff is available.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so the reception's been great. Yeah. And you mentioned the next generation. That's weird, but it's super fun, you know?
Yeah. It's like I told when we were talking with Chris from Blind Mountain, I said I took my dad to a Fogerty concert 2 years ago. If you were to scan the audience, you could not tell what decade the music was from. I mean, there was 18-year-old kids, there was 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 50, like the whole gamut of people were on display there, and it was pretty awesome to see, actually.
Yeah, and I think a lot of young people are getting turned on to older music because some of the stuff currently is a bit lacking as far as having anything to it. And I think young people still want songs with meaning, right?
I agree.
And so they do seek it out and they latch on to it, you know. So that's a great thing. But yeah, I bet that Fogerty show was pretty cool.
No, it was
Does he
great.
still sound good?
He did unbelievable, and it was cool. His son came out and played a couple songs with him, and ZZ Top was the opener. I've never seen them
no way.
before.
Okay.
So I was like, I've never seen either of these guys, so this is perfect.
Greatness.
It was a good
I love
show.
it.
Yeah. And if you don't really want that crowd that cares about meaning with the songs, I think the best opener for you would be LL Cool J. So his last song will be Deepest Bluest. You know,
Okay.
my hat is like a Sharks fan. And then like he's at the end, he's like, deepest bluest. And then all of a sudden we just start hearing you guys in the background, Deep Blue something. What are you doing here?
I like this, man. That's a good idea.
Thank you. See,
we
Scott,
steal
I
this from
bring
you-
to the podcast.
I'll credit you if we steal that idea.
Yeah, when you see the Deep Blue something LL Cool J festival posters. Yeah.
What people would be both confused and maybe a little intrigued by that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what our podcast is all about.
Isn't his real name Todd? Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't know what your real name is.
That's right. That's right. My real name is LL.
None
A lot
of
of
this
people
pipe
didn't know
stuff. Whatever,
Yeah.
buddy.
My
But
real name is LL Pipes.
And James Todd Smith. That's LL Cool J.
Yeah.
well, Todd, we really appreciate your time and all. It's really cool seeing you guys back together. Like I said, Lunar Phase just came out June 25th. I'm highly enjoying it. I know you guys are doing some tour dates. If people want to find out about what you guys are up to and new projects, where are the best places they can go?
Instagram, I know is updated regularly, but I also think Bands in Town. I really think that's a pretty great app as far as just if you're really interested mostly in live music, get on Bands in Town, follow stuff. We update that all the time, and that is synced to our Spotify, so it's all the dates that should be posted and that kind of thing. But yeah, we're trying to be better with social media. We're not good at it.
Neither
We're
are we.
trying.
Don't worry.
Trying.
Yeah.
We've been trying for 12 years to figure out social media. Just not our
It is-
wheelhouse.
Not
It
a
is what it
repertoire.
is.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Final question for me. The video, Breakfast at Tiffany's, shot right in New York City. How many curses were flung at you as you blocked off traffic during that video, out of curiosity?
Man, you know what's really funny is everybody was super welcoming, right? Nobody seemed to be particularly angry. They were now we started really, really early in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And then the only thing was, we're set up there in front and it's kind of, we're acting like we're eating and all that. And Tiffany's was a little upset that we weren't using actual Tiffany china. And they're like, if you want to be authentic. And we're like, no, thank you. But we're worried that the director was worried that we were going to get in some kind of food fight and start throwing stuff. So the last thing he wanted was actual Tiffany china. But that was the only thing. And they were super receptive and everybody else. But yeah, now that I think about it, nobody seemed to be very angry or, yeah.
Like, lady, I can't afford a bass string. I can't afford breaking Tiffany china. you
Yeah,
know?
we're really hoping the video does well. Maybe next time we'll use the china.
Todd, thank you so much. Good luck with the new album, touring, and when new projects come up, we'd love to have you back on.
I'd love to do it, man. I've really been checking out a lot of y'all's previous podcasts and stuff. I really enjoy what y'all do.
I apologize.
No, y'all do some really great stuff.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Todd Pipes, everybody. Todd Pipes, aka the best name in music, I would say.
If it's his real name, Scott.
It is. But you did not ask him about his high score in Cake Sort.
And that's true. I mean, he's such a big celebrity. It's again, we go back to like, do we want look at a celebrity schlong? It's like, do I want to know what his Cake Sort score is? I mean, once if it like explodes way higher than mine, or
you don't want to see Todd's pipe. Is what you're saying?
No. I mean, once if he's got a very low Cake Sort score, Scott, how am I supposed to respect the man? I mean, yeah, he had a huge number one hit at one point, but Like, if you're not cake sorting at a decent level, I don't think I can really respect you.
Really? Like, how far now? We when we first started the podcast, and when we first became friends. In fact, should have put this in the newsletter. You had a game that you were addicted to back then, where I remember talking to you, and you would randomly go off into a wormhole. I believe it was called Injustice. It was like Batman fighting someone over and over again.
Yeah, so that was the mobile game for Injustice, and that's the game where they have made by the guys who do Mortal Kombat, where they have DC characters and they fight against each other. The mobile one was a very like stripped down version of it, but yeah, I used to play that a lot. I recall like I was Aquaman and I was just like throwing his trident and all. I mean, that's how
were you Aquaman? Were you like?
I feel like I am a true Aquaman, Scott.
I wish you were, because I would love to put you underwater permanently. Like I'm so mad at you today.
Well, I mean, if you put me down there, I'm going to just talk with the fishes, and then you're going to have to grab me up because I'll be enjoying it too much.
You know what? You would pick Aquaman, like the lamest superhero there is.
Oh, they do a better job in Injustice. I mean, they
do. Of course.
Yeah, they give him like trident powers and
was Calendar Man in that game.
He has sadly never made it to Injustice 1 nor 2, Scott. I'm sorry.
So are you are you a game guy, or is it just like you find like a random like mobile game or something that gets your brain?
Yeah, I'm a random mobile game kind of guy. I haven't owned a gaming system since probably like PlayStation 2 days, something like that. It's just like I said, it's kind of like the ADHD thing where I get somewhere in my brain where it's like I gotta I can't concentrate, and I kind of need more things than just what's in front of me to make me do stuff. Like I recall as growing up, like going through like high school or whatever, like I did all my homework in front of the TV, and it drove my mother absolutely bonkers. Like she's like, you can't do that, whatever. And it was literally like I'd be watching the TV show, the millisecond the commercials hit, put my head down, and I'm just doing like math homework for like the 4 minutes that it's on commercial. It comes back and I go up, and my mom literally despises you. We kept on coming up, and you can't do it. And every time the report card comes in, and all A, B, A, B, A, B, and it's like she had nothing to fight me against.
It'd be funny if you were just like in the complete like special needs classes, because she's like, you can't do this. You're like, I got it, Mom.
No, I passed my colors test, Mom. Yeah. You are 16 and I need you to leave this household. I know what the color pink looks like.
Yeah. I am not a game guy. I try. I had an Xbox and a PlayStation, and all I would end up doing is buying FIFA, playing FIFA for about 2 months, 3 months, and then putting the system away for a good 3 years. And then I'd be like, oh, FIFA's out again. And I'd get it and be like, it's kind of the exact same game, play it for 3 months. And then I would be like, well, maybe I should play like Call of Duty. And I'd get on Call of Duty, like, this is pretty cool. And I'd get on with all the kids that play online and die every 15 seconds. And I'm like, I'm games have surpassed me. People are just too good. And I'm like trying to aim at like the person's head, like slowly, and getting ready to take the shot. And they're like jumping around the screen, shooting in like 360 circles. And I'm so far behind, I can't play anymore.
Yeah, I was never good at onlining games or competing against anyone. I would
onlining games.
Yeah, nice. yeah. Streamlining the onlining games there. But I'd be the one just like keep on mashing buttons, accidentally hit the wrong one, and then the grenade would go off where the whole group was, and they'd be cursing me out and stuff like that. There was
That is
Nothing.
exactly what would happen in real life if we got drafted right now. Like, say this Iran shit kicks off, and they're like, remember when I told you, Burlo, please don't buy a gun down here in Georgia. Just please don't do it. We'd be in the foxhole. You'd be like, I got a grenade. I lost the pin though.
Yeah.
And then the end.
Pin goes out, pin goes in. Pin goes out, pin goes in. Pin goes out. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
The final words.
I was playing Cake Sword. Somehow you'd end up with like the Medal of Honor. Yeah.
The Purple Heart looks like one of them cakes I sorted earlier on.
So anyway, Burlo, what do you got?
Well, Scott, we just talked with the lead singer of Deep Blue Something, and
we did.
And I say to myself, how can
you
follow?
say a lot of things to yourself.
I do
a lot of things.
I do. I never shut up, regardless of whether people are here or not. Oddly, when there's more people, I shut up. That's the weird thing. It's like if it's one person, I never shut up. If I'm by myself, I never shut up. If there's like 3 people in a room, I'm just like.
So really, like when you're by yourself, you talk to yourself a lot more?
I mean, the wife has caught me. She's like, what? I'm like, what? She's like, you're talking to yourself. I'm like, oh, okay. What are you talking about? I don't know.
And please put the picture of Brett Favre's dong away. What?
I mean, honey, come on. Compare and contrast. Look at this.
with the washcloth on.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got?
Tonight, I figured in honor of Deep Blue Something, I would come out with some of my deepest thoughts that I'd like to call Deep Burloo Somethings.
Here we go. Strap in, everybody. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, these are some.
Wait, so you're saying I can play Cake Sword during this?
No. You're going to be highly entertained during Deep Burloo Somethings.
Well, I thought you were the driver. I thought you could entertain the audience during this.
And you're in the shotgun position, and I need you to be available in case I need a little assistance or whatever.
Well, like on words or periods or sound, consonant sounds.
Yeah. Like if I'm driving and I need a drink, I don't have time to grab the cup holder. No, you got to put it in my mouth right there.
All right, okay? I'll ride shotgun because I care about the podcast, unlike him, listeners.
All right, Scott. I have a question. If people who can't sleep are insomniacs, does that mean if I sleep all day, I'm an outsomniac? Burloo Somethings.
Is this like your what's his name? Jeff Foxworthy? Like if you're a redneck, like yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Give me that one.
All right. Are there chaps that are not assless?
That is a good.
You
that
see?
Is a good question.
That was a Deep Burloo Something right there.
I am trying to picture a cowboy, like aren't like those like I don't know much about wrestling as we saw a couple weeks ago, or WrestleMania episode, but like remember those pants that like Shawn Michaels wore? Were those considered chaps?
I believe so. Yeah,
so they had a butt. They had a butt in them. So I'm going to say yes. There are butt-filled chaps.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why we just have assless available, but
it's more fun. Fun when there's no butt.
Okay, Deep Burloo Somethings. If you live on the streets and never leave your cardboard box, are you a homeless homebody?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Burlo. Yes, you're a homeless homebody. Yes.
Okay. Deep
Burloo Somethings. Deep Burloo Somethings. Okay.
Is the second time a lady getting her period a menstrual bicycle?
Burloo's menstrual bicycle. Is it that time of month? You need to get out of the house, get some exhaustion out, ride the Burloo bicycle.
Yeah. Deep Burloo Somethings. If we use night lights in the evening, why do we have shades? Why don't we call them day darks?
I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Let's just go to the end. Anything to the promote segment. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Here we go. If Buddhists believe in reincarnation, Does that mean atheists believe in deincarnation?
Deep somethings.
Thank you. See, you're being my co-driver right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I was playing Wordle, but keep going.
All right, I got one more.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. They say sun's out, buns out, but when we show somebody our butt, we moon them. Explain that to me.
Sun's out, guns out, but when we say we moon them. Well, I don't know, because we don't the sun doesn't come out and we just pull our ass out.
Well, sun's out, buns out. That's the phrase.
Okay.
So why is it when I show my butt, it's mooning and illegal?
Exactly. That is exactly the answer. You should not be pulling your butt out in front of people.
Well, I mean, we can worry about that another time, but that is tonight's Deep or Lose Something, Scott.
Wow. I hope Deep or Lose Something drowns in the sea like my head is like a shark fin. Like what is it? Like
LL Cool J?
Yeah, LL Cool J. Yeah. My head is like a shark fin.
Well, don't worry. If I get other Deep Lose Something members like his brother on the show, we'll have more Deeper Lose Somethings for the next time.
I cannot wait, Mike. I don't even know what to say to you anymore, but I do have a quick question for you. What did you call your grandparents? Like, how did you refer to them?
Well, that's got my dad's mother was Nanny.
Nanny.
And
okay.
Let's see, what did I call my other grandma, the one who stole my baseball cards?
With the big titties, yeah.
Yeah, well, she didn't have big titties. She just put the baseball card in between them to entice the guy she gave my baseball cards.
Entice collectors.
I think I just called her grandma. I know my brother used to call her Crow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Crow?
Yeah, like as in like crow's feet and stuff like that. That's what my brother used to call my grandma.
Wow.
I don't know how that
term
started.
of endearment.
Yeah, well, I mean, she wasn't exactly the most loved member of the Burlew household, to be brutally honest. But yeah, and I didn't know either my grandfathers. So
okay, because I grew up calling my grandpa, and my grandma. Like There was nothing. The other day I was at this thing called Fun Weekend here, where it's like basically a party down at the beach, the lake, and I heard someone go, hey, whatever, let's say, hey, Christopher, like talking to her kid, and she's like, we gotta go. Pee-poo is gonna pick you up later. I'm like, pee-poo? Like, is that how far we've gotten? Like my kids call my mom grandma and pop, which I've heard before, but
yeah,
pee-poo. And I've heard paw, I've heard, but like, I don't understand the grandma. Like, why do we say mom and dad? But then when grandma and grandpa come, we just like invent a syllable. Like, yeah, pee-poo is going to come over.
Well, I mean, I guess when you have to take care of them, that's what you have to consider coming out of them all the time for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so. Imagine they're like 17, 18, and like, the grandma dies or grandpa dies, and like everyone's like, what's the matter? Like, oh, pee-poo died. Like,
yeah, like that seems like a name that would die out after the age of 4. Like, I couldn't fathom like being in the 3rd grade and still announcing someone as pee-poo.
Yeah, it took me. I want to be like, pee-poo? Are we serious here? It's like, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, why are we trying to reinvent everything? Like, why can't it just be grandma, pop? I remember my friend, they called their grandparents mom. I'm like, mom. And we were in high school. And he'd be like, yeah, mom's coming over tonight. I'm like, dude, what? Mom?
Oh, man. I mean, you got to get those, like, there's got to be, I like drinking. There's an age limit and cigarettes and all that. There are certain names that have an age max. And that's anything like that where it's Meemaw and Mommy.
Yeah. It's kind of like when like you're a kid and you give a cute nickname to the dog, and maybe you give him a voice or something like that. Like there should be an age limit on that.
Well, not a voice. I mean, that's just highly entertaining. And I don't give them like super weird names or anything like that.
Why? What are some of the names you've given your dogs?
Well, I know.
Here we go. Let me just see. Let me just explain what I just saw on the screen here.
What?
One, I see cake sore in his left eye, but two, I said, "What names do you give your dogs?" And Burley, I know when he goes, "Oh shit." And he shrugged his shoulder and looked to the left, and I assume is one of his dogs laying on the couch.
There.
And he showed me, Leia, I believe that is. And he went, he did that face where he smiled and then went, "Oh no." We're like, "Oh no, we have uncovered something here." We stuck the shovel in and we heard a dense dunk, dunk, dunk. Maybe there's buried treasure here.
Well, I mean, I know like when she's my nestle buddy because she always sleeps right next to me at night. I also like to call her Chocodile because she's a chocolate lab. And like when she was younger, she would be like playful biting. She still likes to playful bite me from time to time. The
Leia,
wife,
if you're hearing me, bite harder, please. Really hard.
Yeah. And since she's a Chocodile, Vader is known as Vader Gator. And my wife refers to her a lot as Boop-de-doo. Leia.
Boop-de-doo. Yeah.
Boop-de-doo. Yeah. And then I think it was like 2 nights ago, I was just playing around and I expanded.
Oh, there's a big announcement here in the dog universe.
Yeah, I kind of expanded her character a little bit. So
whoa.
I said to my wife and all, "Oh, she's playful. She's like a superhero. She's Super Boops."
Oh, Super Boops.
Yeah.
Got it. Now I do have a lot of nicknames for my dog. I do have a lot of nicknames. The only thing we ever did was extend his name.
Okay.
So his name is Obi, but we called him Obington. And then we said, well, Obi has to have a middle name. And we called him Obington Charles, like he was a prince.
Oh, okay.
So Prince Obington Charles. But I didn't. Yeah. I never got the Super Boopadoop or whatever you were saying.
Super Boops. That's what it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's Leia Sky. He's Vader Luke because the wife wanted to have a Luke and Leia, but then we looked at him and said he's a Vader. Callie was Callie Chase Muttley Burlew because part of the deal of getting that dog, I said I get to name it, and I wanted to name it Chase Muttley, but she was so used to the Callie name, I decided that was her middle name.
Gotcha.
And I don't know why. I remember I called one dog Juice Bucket Jones, and I can't even understand why I did that.
Wait. What was the name? What was the dog's actual name?
Sammy.
So you had a dog named Sammy.
Yeah.
And in your head, you were like, this looks like a Juice Bucket Jones to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, if I had the full story, I would fully admit it. But I just kind of remembered, like, I'm trying to fathom the story.
Did Sammy have a voice, and then did Juice Bucket Jones have his own character?
No, Sammy did not have a voice. Sammy was famous for, we got him when I was like in the first grade, and I picked him up when I was very young, and I dropped him, and he pretty much hated me the rest of my life. The dog lived 16 years. I was going to college and picking him up. He would still growl like hell at me and discourage me. I mean,
you were like, calm down, Juice Bucket. Calm down. I like you, Juice Bucket.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember like the synopsis of Juice Bucket Jones. I think it was something equivalent of you're just a full dog. And kind of like I would say Callie was full of meat. I think early on I said, "Oh, you're just full like juice," and like then I just extended to, well, if you're full of juice, that makes you a juice bucket. And since I wanted to give him a full formal name, I just put Jones at the end of it. So, yeah, Sammy was Juice Bucket Jones at one point. And no, I don't think it was every time I saw him call him Juice Bucket Jones, but
at least we have the third part of the name of this episode. Well, Juice Bucket Jones, you got anything to promote tonight, Mike?
Oh, I'll just read the newsletter before Scott deletes the last one. And if you're interested in our Substack, just contact us at verbalshenaniganspodcast@gmail.com. Give us your email and we'll add you onto the list so you can hear these wonderful stories, probably more stories of how much Scott feels Michael Burlew adds to the podcast.
Yeah. But also, I will piggyback on that. You don't have to actually even contact us. You can just subscribe directly on there. Just look up Verbal Shenanigans on Substack and subscribe. And I will promote former guest of the show. I think she was our first of the year, I believe. Tracy Bonham. You might remember her song "Mother Mother." She crowdsourced an album and is putting out a new album. Just kind of trying to find the name of it real quick. So Mike,
I'm saying
Sky Too Wide is the name of the album. She's been releasing a couple songs from that. She was a really cool guest. It's really cool to have her on. So go check out Tracy Bonham and her new episode. So
technically, it was Anchor Brandt, by the way, the Tampa Bay Buccaneer assistant who picked up the duck.
All right, don't be technical Tommy over there.
Oh, another nickname?
Yeah,
Technical Tommy Terminator. Yes. Woohoo! Can't wait to use that one.
This was not a good night for you. You went from up here, and now we're thinking about replacing.
No, put the impact up.
Guys, other than that, please keep liking, subscribing, sharing. We got a bunch of fun stuff coming up. Life is funny. Laugh at it. Keep the wind at your back.
Oh, that's a chocolate cake. That's a sword. Woo-hoo.